It's the one and only 5D transformations, and we're here. And I have a very important message for you. And this involves a match between your inner and outer world. You know, that is one of the biggest problems I see for people is that they feel a certain way within, but then their outside world is a different situation. Like they might feel, um, super depressed within or super upset as if, life isn't working well. But in the external world, you know, they put on this positive energy, they act positive. Um, a lot of people do that. Then you got some people who, the outside world, they can come off negative, but internally they're having an amazing experience. But externally, they rub people the wrong way. You know what I mean? Also, just when it comes to your goals and desires and dreams, there's people who have things that they want to do within, things that they want to experience, but in their outside world, it's looking like, they might want to be an actress or actor. Or they might have this amazing ability, creative ability, or want to go after their dreams and start a business, right? But when they look at their normal life, they're working a job that isn't going well. They might be struggling financially. There's people who really seek abundance and they struggle to attain it, and it's tough because you want to be confident, you want to be your powerful self, you want to move like a millionaire, but then you look at your environment and you see struggle, or you might see things not being the way you want it to be in whatever capacity, relationships, wealth, health, relationships, you know what I mean? And obviously they tell you, oh, have faith, visualize, but it's still hard because you could visualize, but guess what? As soon as you open your eyes again, you're right back in your experience and everything looks the same. So what is hard is that what you notice is it's a lot of the time a gap between your internal world and your external world. And what you're really supposed to do is bridge them together. Ideally, if you put in the spiritual work, if you put in the self-development, if you put in the growth, what happens is your internal world that you desire reflects externally. And don't get me wrong, there will always be aspects to it that doesn't match perfect, because at the end of the day, the external world moves a lot slower than the mental realm, where you're thinking different ideas quickly. They operate on a different speed. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine a red apple right now, and I can imagine biting it. But to get a red apple, if I don't have one already, I got to get up, go to the store, bring it to me. You see, and that's just getting an apple. So imagine when it comes to things like being a millionaire or attracting the person of your dreams. It's that same effect, but it's slower. But the key thing you got to understand though is once I put my mind on wanting the apple, I go toward getting the apple. And yes, it may take time, but we follow the linear steps. I'm gonna have to go downstairs, have to go into my car, have to drive, have to go find, have to pick it up, have to bring it back. So the key thing is that as long as you're willing to follow the process, you will get there. It's just going to be delayed relative to your imagination. So if that is the case, and it's known that you will end up there, because you got to realize, as within, so without. As they say, as above, so below. I mean, what that means is if I can access it in my mind within, then I have to be able to access it externally. It's just a universal law. That's one of the universal laws, as within, so without. So if I imagine something, there is a way to get to it in the physical world. It's just going to be more of a linear process, a linear way to get there, which is going to take time. And what delays people's experience to the point where it delays so much, they never even get to it. Because you got to keep in mind, there's other manifestations that are circulating in as well. You might want to be rich, but then you might want to get to work on time, and then you might want to figure out what you're going to eat today, and then you might want to work out. So the universe is giving you all of these manifestations, some that can happen quickly because they're within your distance, some that are medium, and then some that are way out there, like being a millionaire or whatever, or a billionaire, whatever it is. If you're a millionaire watching this. So with that being said, a big part is if you can remove a lot of the other manifestations as a focus, and if you can hone in on that one manifestation, or those one to two main manifestations, ideally one, then what happens is it gets so much energy that it starts to allow it to accelerate and occur more quickly. And the key thing is sticking to it as long as it takes. You cannot quit. The minute you quit, you end it, and you wasted your time. And people do that all the time. They get to a point where they're like, it can't happen. And there were 45 to 50% on their journey, and then they stop. And then you realize years later, man, I should have never quit. I actually was further than I realized. Then if you try to come back and do it, now you're even further behind. Now you're years behind that could have been picked up on if you stuck to it. So you have to be willing to follow the process, and then eventually the worlds will match. So that's my message. You got to understand the power of this. And here's the big thing I'm going to tell you, just to end this off. The last thing I'll say is the inner world is what matters first. It is the inner world that is guiding your external world. A deep thing for you to understand, and this is a big gem, and I might expound on this in another video, is that your subconscious mind is actually the masculine force, and your conscious mind is actually the feminine. A lot of people thought that the conscious force or your conscious mind is the masculine energy or the yang. You know what I mean? Because it's the force that's out here controlling things actively. But what you realize is it's the subconscious mind that's the masculine, because it's the one that comes first and it attracts. And then when you're in your physical world now, in your conscious mind, you're just attracting what you already programmed in your mind. You're just attracting it now. It looks like you're doing stuff, but really it's already been programmed. So you're actually at the effect at that point. So if you want to get at the cause point of your life, and if you want to be able to create your experience, you have to go into the subconscious and begin to imagine and visualize where you want to be, what you want to happen. And then the end, it will begin to come to you and you'll see it in your physical environment. But you got to stick to it and give it its time. Okay. So it's a lot of little gems in there. I'm going to be back with another one, but that's something I wanted to drop with y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Let's continue to build the channel so I can give you these gems. And make sure to check out the Patreon. I got the base attraction course for anybody dating and attraction. A very important one there for anybody when it comes to relationships. We have the MBTI course, MBTI Magic, very powerful course talking about MBTI. Then we got the Pyramidian coaching on there. Very powerful personal coaching program. It is my most important program, and I'm going to be dropping some new videos on there this week that are going to be super mind blowing. So I've been saving that information. But yeah, aside from that, make sure to tap in, and I will see you all in the next video. It's the one and only